Someone's going to point out that the camera's crooked, but there's really nothing we can do about it, so.
The last minute phone to tripod action, and here we are.
If you guys can hear us, can you let us know so that we know that the sound is good? We don't have the best track record with our audio on lives.
EC says yes.
Okay.
Hopefully that means yes, he can hear us.
I have heard Riley's tougher than a cowboy. Is that true? I don't know. I was the one that crashed on my bike yesterday. All right, well, we're going to get started. Welcome to our first official live scheduled. We don't have a video this week. We have been doing some other stuff, and so we haven't been filming.
So sorry, no Sunday video. We'll catch you guys up when we can. Courtney and I have been taking a little break, visiting some family, and yeah, we're looking forward to getting back to the build and getting back to the content. Until then, we thought we'd give you guys an opportunity to talk to us and answer some questions. And so we're opening up the floor to questions from you guys.
What's the current fire danger level? High, incredibly high, ridiculously high. It was a really dry year, not a lot of snowfall, not a lot of rain. Yeah.
There's a lot of fires going on in western Montana and in northern Idaho, and so we've been super careful about that. We are like not using chainsaws. We're not doing anything that's going to cause fire, trying to keep to right around our build site where we've cleared and where the fire danger is a little lower.
We want to be doing more clearing. The reality is they actually started, oh, sorry you guys, there's so many comments coming in, it's hard to, the reality is it's so dry we don't want to be using a chainsaw right now.
Another question we do add a few campsites and try to open up a little bit of camping opportunity for people on our property. It's going to be a while though. We're going to have to get our house and the shop settled in first, and the road and utilities and such on and so forth. But hopefully in the future we'll be able to have a place for you guys to stay.
I think I accidentally started 2 lives, so you keep answering questions. I have to
EC says, uh-oh, freezing up.
Are you glad you're off the roof?
Yes, I am glad I'm off the roof. That, you know, I didn't film the first roof panel going on, but I was terrified. I was like shaking, and so when Courtney titled that episode like something about Riley and his fear of heights, that was true. Well, somebody else pointed out, I'm not afraid of heights, I'm afraid of falling. So yeah, I'm glad to be off the roof. I'm glad to have that part of the build done. It turns out, like, I helped a friend build a shop and it only had 8-foot walls, and it turns out that being on the roof of a building with 8-foot walls is very different than being on the roof of a building with 18-foot walls.
This is a real B&H customer story.
Guys, we're figuring this out.
I have no idea what Courtney's doing over here.
We're good. I was pulling it. Oh, wait, we're good.
It's not the fall that hurts. No, what's that? It's the landing? Yeah.
I'm glad Riley's not on the roof anymore. Not only was driving the telehandler super boring, but also I was worried about Riley the whole time. And it was really frustrating not being able to help.
Oh, now I'm watching myself on the computer over here.
Where do we find our music? I use a website called Epidemic Sound. It's royalty. I have the rights to use the music. It's a monthly subscription, and it is awesome.
How do you guys do internet in the camper? That is a great question. We actually have a MoFi router. It takes a SIM card, and then we have a data plan through Verizon for unlimited data in the camper. So we use cell phones, and pretty much anywhere we have Verizon service, we have good internet. The MoFi router actually gets better reception than my Verizon cell phone, so even if my phone doesn't have reception, I can usually do Wi-Fi calling and text.
Ooh, this is a good question. Why did we not use plywood and a barrier before the metal on the roof? You guys, this has been a really common question.
It's not necessary for the structure of a post-frame building, and so adding plywood just adds a lot of unnecessary expense. It adds to the build time, and it takes away from your dead load on your roof because the plywood has a significant weight to it. So we didn't need to, is the short answer.
We will be having a vapor barrier though. So the way we're doing a vented attic, which means that there's going to be constant airflow with our vented soffits in the attic. The vapor barrier is going to be between the finished roof of the actual apartment and shop and that vented attic. So there will be a vapor barrier to keep moist air from getting up there.
Someone wanted to know where you get your good tunes from for the episodes.
Epidemic Sound. Yes, we're hoping to be at Overland Expo West. We're still trying to figure out the plans for that and work out, but we are hoping to be there.
We have another event that we have to be at that's sort of right after Overland Expo that's kind of throwing some wrenches into our planning for that. So we're trying hard to make sure we're at Overland Expo. So if you make it there and we make it there, please stop by and say hi.
Ooh, spray foam or foam core insulation. Oh, we would love to use spray foam. It's incredibly expensive. We're still trying to figure that out.
And if you can't notice, we like to do everything ourselves. There are DIY spray foam kits. We've been told they don't work nearly as well as having a pro come in and spray it. So one thing that attracts me to fiberglass bat insulation is that it is something that we can just do ourselves. But we acknowledge that spray foam is sort of like the Cadillac of insulation.
As far as the DIY kits, the cost to just spray foam the apartment, only the apartment, is about $2,000 for the kit. So the whole shop, yeah.
And that'd be to only go 2 inches thick.
So significant cost, but obviously there are a lot of benefits to using spray foam.
Hey, this guy watches from Visalia, California. We've got a bunch of friends that live out in Visalia, including all the crew at Hellwig. So if you know the guys at Hellwig, please say hi for us.
Someone asked if we allow squatters on our property.
Definitely do not allow squatters.
No
but
squatting.
Temporary overnight stays, maybe here
If
and there.
you're in the area, shoot us an email. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But we've met some awesome people already. Well, yes. So the plan is to park the camper in the shop until the apartment is done.
We're also going to be using the camper as sort of our power supply for the apartment until we can get a more permanent power situation set up. We ordered a bunch of more solar panels that we're going to be adding another array. So we're going to be able to plug the camper into solar power that are outside of the shop, even when we're parked inside of the shop. So that's sort of our short-term plan until the future when we get better power setups going on.
How'd you learn SolidWorks?
Oh, I actually have an engineering degree from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and took a SolidWorks course there. That sort of just got my feet wet in it. And then I did a summer internship where I did a lot of SolidWorks modeling. And then the rest of it from there has been self-taught. I bought a license for SolidWorks and just, everything we do, it's easier to draw on the computer first and work out all the kinks and then go from there.
Michelle, we did get our windows. We got our windows and our doors. And that's actually going to be the first thing that we do when we get back is get those in. So that'll be our next episode. Maybe on Wednesday. It might not be till Sunday, or maybe I'll just pick a random day in between to put that up. But that will be our next project, and we do have our windows.
Getting our windows was quite an adventure, and
you'll have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see about that.
Let's see. Do we have a timeline for moving in? Well, as soon as possible.
We're getting pretty sick of living in the dirt. It's different than camping. We're living in that moon dust, and because it's on a daily basis and we're trying to work in it, the dirt has been starting to get to us. So we're really looking forward to getting the slab poured in the shop and being able to pull the camper in and get out of that dirt.
Sorry, I'm still just trying to figure out this whole live thing. I've never done this before.
How are you liking Northern Idaho so far?
It's awful. It's horrible. You don't want to move there. Oh, that's what we've been sworn to say to you guys.
We've loved Northern Idaho. The people up there that we've met are extremely friendly and welcoming to us. We've got quite a community of friends now that we've met. It's been an awesome experience thus far. Northern Idaho is beautiful. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of outdoor recreation.
Someone wanted to know if Cal Poly's Learn by Doing motto influenced what we're doing. Backstory, we both went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. That's how we met in the off-road club.
My parents also both went to Cal Poly, and so my entire life I heard, learn by doing. So there was never a moment where there was any other option. There was always just learn by doing and do it yourself. So that's been the way that I've lived my life for a long time, and I think Courtney's pretty much the same way. Her dad owns a bunch of rental homes, and you spent your childhood.
We used to hate it. Now I appreciate it, but at the time, painting the walls on a weekend was not something I wanted to do. But we learned a lot, and I'm very appreciative of it. Oh, let's see. Any kids in our future?
You'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. You might know before us. No, I'm just kidding. What's our internet situation like? We've got a wireless router in the truck. It works awesome enough, good enough for what we're doing. We would love high-speed internet. That would be...
Our internet is just fast enough to stream Netflix and just good enough for Courtney to upload videos. Well, depending on where we're parked. If we're parked in a big city, it's super fast. But
ooh, this is a good question. Are the fires causing any animal visitors? We haven't had any yet.
Our neighbor sent us a picture of a mama brown bear or black bear and a cub. So they are nearby. We haven't seen them yet. Who is the internet provider? We're actually using Visible Wireless, which is owned by Verizon. The plan is relatively inexpensive. I think we're only at $30 a month with Party Pay. So for the price, our internet is awesome.
Yes, I really am 6'2". What kind of wildfire protection do you have built into the shop? Our metal siding was a big factor. We have a lot more clearing to do. I know, like, my grandpa has rainbirds on his roof. That might be something once we have reliable water that we would look into doing.
One of the primary reasons we did all that extra work to make sure that the soffits were all closed and the eaves were closed was to prevent any chance of a spark from being able to get up inside our attic space.
Do you have anything to fight them? So we do have a pressurized water system. We've got our IBC totes with a pressure pump that's just powered by a little portable generator. So we do have pressurized water that we can pretty easily move around with the Army truck.
Unfortunately, that's only a maximum of like 550 gallons. So we are looking to get some larger storage tanks. But one thing about North Idaho is that any large storage tanks we have to be underground or they'll just freeze in the winter. So either it's sort of a temporary summer only thing or they have to be underground.
Yes, rainwater storage is something that we are researching right now and we absolutely want to implement into our system.
So you noticed a lot of people have commented there's no gutters in the building. Correct, there are no gutters. That's partially because we haven't yet figured out exactly how to do our rainwater collection yet, but I'm sure gutters will be coming once we know where that's going to go. Someone says, what kind of cooking do we do in the camper? So in the camper, we cook with an induction cooktop, or my favorite, as you guys know,
I'm laughing because I know,
is the Instant Pot.
If you guys have watched Riley's Instant Pot adventures, you've been around for a while.
I've exploded the Instant Pot in the camper and just made a huge mess all over the ceiling in one of our early episodes. And then when we're up on the property, we have a barbecue, and the barbecue has been a game changer, especially in the heat, to be able to cook outside rather than cook inside our space, because cooking in here really heats it up fast.
Ooh, what's your favorite brew?
Oh, so
right now we're drinking North Idaho beer. Well, the first time we went to order this, we didn't know how to say it.
These are Bodhi Zaffa. They're actually Washington beers,
Oh.
but this is what all the locals up there drink, and we think they're pretty good.
You call it a Bodhi. So we're drinking Bodhies right now. We're not very picky.
Oh, and if you guys didn't know, this is a happy hour Q&A, so I hope you also have your favorite brew or whatever you drink with you.
Or a glass of lemonade. Or Riley, do you miss barbecuing every night?
Hey, Roberto. Hey, Roberto. Thanks for following. Roberto, that asked that question, is an exchange student that lived with my family and I for
hi,
a year in
Roberto.
high school. You know, Roberto, I was missing barbecuing every night, and that's why we had to buy a barbecue. Well, actually, my parents bought us a barbecue as a property warming gift, and now I'm back to barbecuing every night.
Let's see. Could you live in the truck full time?
We have been for 7 months, and
I absolutely love it when we're traveling. A little more space on the property would be nice, I think is my...
There's no perfect camper right now. We both wish for a little more space, but when we're traveling, we love the tiny space.
Oh, the dog's got a shout out. Say hi, Bailey.
Bud, come here. Bud, lay down.
Ooh, Instant Pot with air fryer. That would be. Who taught me to use a measuring tape?
Stay.
I'm actually not that good with a measuring tape.
Yes, you are. She's super good.
I'm not bad, but I just doing it. I mean, I think that there's so much emphasis to be good at everything, and we're not good at everything we do, but we try to learn how to do it. And there's only one way to learn how to do it, and it's by doing it.
You don't have to be good at it, right? Like, you can get it done. Learning along the way is the best way to learn.
Ooh, this is a good question. How do we buy the military truck? So there are plus government auctions. That's where we started looking for them. A story for another day, but I bought a Jeep in auction once and it was a horrible idea, and I blew up the motor the day I bought it. And so we are really wary of auctions because you can't test drive the vehicles, you just buy them. So we looked on GovPlanet, we decided that was not a great option, and then we got incredibly lucky and there was actually just an Army truck for sale on Craigslist, private party, an hour from us.
So we bought a private party. The title situation was already all sorted out. It was already correctly registered for civilian on-road use, and it was a little bit more money than buying from auction, but being able to check it out in person was worth it. even though you saw our whole saga, that it wasn't all sorted out. It had a lot of problems, but
just from sitting, it just hadn't been driven in a long time. Yes, Brian, the forklift was awesome, and we've been doing a lot of driving the last few days, and every time we see a telehandler on the side of the road, Riley wants it.
that I had never driven a telehandler before, and that thing was amazing. And it turns out they can do way more than just forklift. Like, now that I've been looking into them, you can get buckets for them, you can get snow blowers for them, there's all sorts of attachments, grapples. So I think that'd be a cool piece of equipment to own.
Oh, how do we fund our projects? That's a question we've been getting a lot lately, and it's a really long story. The short story is we sold our tiny house. We built a tiny house last year out of a shipping container. We just sold it, and that is how we're currently funding our shop build up in Idaho. How we funded that?
You know, we have just a long history of buying and selling and up trading and
Side jobs. Like one tidbit was we got married a few years ago, and we made all our tables and chairs for our wedding, and then we started a wedding rental business, and so we ended up renting them out for 20 other weddings. I don't know, just doing
we're
stuff.
constantly hustling and just trying to make it, and years of doing that have started to pay off, and you know, it takes money to make money for sure, and so we just feel fortunate to finally have that.
And we live incredibly frugally. I mean, yeah.
And you know, I'm sure you guys are aware, but YouTube creators like us do get funded by YouTube. Every time you watch an ad, we get a small portion of that ad revenue. So
which has been amazing, because it means that I can take time out of my day to go make videos to share them with you guys, and then we grow, and it's been incredible.
For all of you, that we know that there are a lot of you out there that have been sharing our content with your friends and groups that you're in, and we really appreciate your help helping grow this channel. The growth of this channel is going to allow us to continue to do these projects and share them with you.
Okay, I was waiting for someone to notice. In the last drone shot, one of our pieces of flashing is missing, and I cannot believe it took you guys this long to notice, but let's see. Someone noticed, and yes, we didn't order enough. So.
We were one piece short. It should be arriving on Monday, and then we'll get that finished up.
Did you screw the last 2 rows down? He also wants to know.
Yes, the last rows of roofing are screwed down.
Yes. Let's see. How much time do I spend editing videos? It really depends on the video. I would say it's like a minimum of 4 hours to get a video together for you guys, but sometimes a lot of the times it takes longer than that.
She spends a couple hours, you know, in the evenings sorting through all the footage and organizing and clipping, and then when it comes time to edit it together, she's sort of just in a hole for hours until it's done. Courtney works really hard at that. So you should turn the ad blocker off. You know, honestly, yes, I've used an ad blocker for years, but now that I have a better idea of how this works and how YouTube creators are funded, if you watch the ads, it really does help all of us out.
Do we have any plans when we hit 100K? We are so close. I think we're at 96,000 right now, and we are getting incredibly close to 100,000, which if you told me a year ago when we started our channel that was going to happen, I would have laughed at you. What are we going to do to celebrate? I don't know. We'll have to get back to you guys on that. How will we get power? Are we near the grid? We are kind of near the grid, but we do not have plans to get power from the grid.
We're planning on a solar array with battery storage and a backup generator. Got some other harebrained ideas in the works for power generation, but for the short term, it's going to be solar and backup generator.
This is a good question. Is the building code hard to comply with? So, no. Well, how do you answer that? Right now, there's only one permit that we need. We have the permit. It's called a site location permit. You submit your plans. It's just a sketch of what you're planning to build, and then they come out and they inspect that you are building where you say you're going to build, which is really logical, right? They're making sure that we're not actually building on our neighbor's property. As of now, that is the only permit we need. We do plan to do septic, so we will need a permit through the state then. If we were tying into the grid electrical, there would be a state electrical inspection. We're not planning to do that.
As far as the structure of the building, it is up to us to comply with the building codes.
So
there is no inspection on it. So
a very unique county we live in. We love it because it's on us to build a safe logical building, but that also means that we can do it, and we can do it on our timeline, which has been very quick.
So some of you might have noticed that like on the fly, we have changed plans a few times, and being able to do that is the reason that we were going to have a building up before winter. If we had had to submit plans and have them approved and then couldn't change those plans, we couldn't have been as flexible as we are, and we wouldn't have a building.
But it's on us. So if our building falls down because we didn't engineer it for our snow loads, because of our trusses, I mean, that all of that responsibility is on us because there is no one to come inspect it. Let's see.
But there are a lot of resources out there to get information about how to do that correctly, and we do feel as though the building that we are building is more than adequate for our area and built correctly.
We talked to a lot of builders, and then another thing we did was our neighbor had an engineered building similar to ours, built by a very well-respected company in the area, and so we took a lot of information from how they built his and used that when we were deciding how to move forward with it. Oh, why did we return the Ryobi generator?
Oh yeah, so we bought the Ryobi generator from Home Depot. As you probably know, Ryobi is a Home Depot brand. They had a 30-day return policy, and on the 30th day, it just would not run right. I fiddled with it. I tried to mess with the fuel shutoff switch, and it came down to I was about to pull it apart and try to clean out the carb, and I realized like this piece of equipment is 30 days old. It should not be having problems yet. I've only put ethanol-free, fresh, premium gas in it, and it just made more sense to return it. I'm just not willing to put up with equipment that doesn't work correctly, especially when it's that new. So we actually ended up buying a Honda EU 2200i, which is sort of like the Honda equivalent of that generator. And the Honda seems significantly nicer so far, but we've only used it for a couple of days, so we'll give you a long-term review after we've owned it for longer.
Yes, our dump truck is named. His name is Humpty Dumpty. Another question, do our pups wear shoes? Sometimes they do wear shoes, especially Boone. Oh, Riley's going to get them out to show you guys. Boone is kind of an ogre, and he'll just scramble over everything, so Boone has shoes that he'll wear sometimes if we're going hiking or rocky or anything like that. What do the dogs do when we're working? The dogs love the camper, and so if we're down at the shop working, running heavy equipment, that kind of stuff, they don't get to hang out with us. I just don't want to be worried about them, running them over, thinking about that, and so they hang out up in the camper with the air conditioner when we're working. Where are the bears? I don't know. We haven't seen them yet.
I haven't seen a bear yet.
Nope, we don't own a lake, unfortunately. We're near a lake, but we don't own a lake. We can't afford a lake.
But the dogs do get to go enjoy the lake very often. It's actually after a long, hot day. That's like how I shower sometimes.
It's so nice.
Drive down to the lake and jump in, and it's awesome.
Are we going to go into the camper building business? Who knows? I don't know.
We don't have plans right now to go into the camper building business. I think there is certainly another camper build in our future, but you never know what's going to happen.
Someone said we should put magnets on the dog's shoes to pick up nails down at the job site.
That's a really good idea. Then they'd have a job. Boone, we're going to put you to work.
We haven't named the property yet. I know you guys had some good suggestions, and we just haven't had the moment where the light bulb went off and we went, yes, this is the name for the property. So no, we don't generally go around dancing naked, at least not that I remember.
But we could.
We could. We don't have any neighbors. Let's see. What else? Gosh, you guys have some good... Any water on the property? Not at the moment, other than the water we haul in.
We have a few prospects of different ways to collect some groundwater off the property, like in the springtime especially. There's definitely areas where a lot of water moves through there. We might try to put like some French drains in and collect water in cisterns, or dig a well. We haven't gotten to that point yet. For right now, we're just hauling it with the Army truck, and we are so frugal with our water use anyways after living in this small camper that so far we haven't even been through 600 gallons yet in the couple of months that we've been up there.
So we are in northern Idaho. We are north of Lake Coeur d'Alene, and it's a beautiful area, and yeah, that's where we are. Will we allow visitors or helpers? We're still trying to figure that out. We've talked about doing maybe a little Airbnb on the property out of maybe like a little 20-foot shipping container that you guys could come visit. We plan to have hiking, mountain biking trails, or Riley wants to put a ski lift in the winter. Let's see. Yes, we will definitely talk about the layout plans for our workshop and apartment in an episode once we have figured them out.
We don't even have a layout yet for the apartment.
We knew we had to go get windows, and so we bought our windows, and now we will make a layout that works with the windows we bought. So we're doing things in a completely different order than most people, but that's because we're trying to build it in like 3 months. Composting toilet. I would love a real flushing toilet in our apartment.
So currently in the camper, we have a cassette toilet. We have lots of episodes talking about our cassette toilet. We love it. So check back on our old videos about that. And we talked about an incinerator toilet for the shop, but I think that for the cost of an incinerator toilet, it's going to be better just to do a septic system.
Hey, Michelle. So we're not planning to clear a lot of trees, but we are planning to do some more thinning and limbing to really help open up our view a little bit. Do we have the Jeep Cherokee? Oh, we've owned a lot of Jeep Cherokees and Grand Cherokees and Wagoneers and Grand Wagoneers. At the moment, we don't own any Jeeps, which is very abnormal for us.
So the yellow one that's in the intro is a 1969 Jeep Grand Wagoneer that Courtney and my mom competed in the Rebel Rally in together. We built it. Courtney and I built that Jeep for them to compete in. And we actually sold that Jeep to fund a later project, which eventually funded another project and eventually led us here.
But that thing's still ripping around the Bay Area, so if you live in the Bay Area, you might see it driving around. Let's see. Yes, we do watch Good Simple Living. We really enjoy watching their videos, and we are jealous of how big their shop is. Let's see. Do we have bears in the region? Yes. We do. We have not seen them. I have several game cams up. I know someone asked if I've caught anything good on the game cams. We have a doe that hangs out on our property that I catch fairly often, some bunnies, and that's about it for now.
Yeah, look, Brian had a 76 Jeep Cherokee and he loved it. Those Jeeps are awesome. They are so fun.
The smoke has been pretty bad. Yeah.
Michelle wants to know how big the apartment's going to be. We're going to be building a 12 by 40 apartment, so that's 480 square feet.
What will the new shop allow us to do that we couldn't do before? Ooh, this is a good one. So after college, we had an off-road shop for a while, and we started in a 1,000 square foot shop, and then we moved to a bigger shop. That was amazing, but it was incredibly expensive to rent a shop, and you're paying someone else for them to own the property. And so we ended up downsizing, and we've been working out of a 2-car garage for 3 years now, with a plasma table taking up most of the garage.
So looking forward to more space so we can accumulate some more equipment again.
And taller ceilings. So we had two 2-post lifts back then, so I would love to have a lift, especially for when we're doing vehicle projects.
I'm also looking forward to being able to work on big projects inside rather than out in the driveway.
Yeah. Like this camper we built primarily in our driveway, and so it'll be really nice to be able to work inside. What are we going to be making in the shop? I have no idea. We have some really cool ideas, things that we would have only ever dreamed of being able to build, but I think that our channel and you guys supporting us are going to actually let us do them, which is so exciting.
This guy wants to know, how are you going to get enough electricity for those machines? So we have plans to do a solar array with a big battery storage, but then we also have the military generator, that's 18 kW, that'll serve as a backup. So when we need more power to run all the big equipment, we'll fire up the generator and then have a big charger so the generator can also charge the batteries while it's on, and try to maximize the use of that generator for a limited amount of time while it's on.
I went to school for animal science, and Riley has a degree in manufacturing engineering.
After college, we both jumped around between a few different jobs, and honestly just couldn't work behind a desk and wanted to do our own thing. So Courtney and I have been self-employed now for the last, 6 years? And just done all kinds of stuff together, and it's been an awesome ride.
Oh, this is a good question. Brian has good questions. Are we going to be able to get up our driveway in winter?
We have no idea. We haven't been there yet in the winter.
It kind of depends what kind of winter it is. We'll be able to get up in something. We've been talking about snowmobiles, or I think a little samurai would be really cool. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out when it happens.
Maybe an ATV or a UTV on tracks or something that we can park down at the main road and, swap back and forth between the car. I'm kind of looking forward to the challenge of how to get in during the winter. It might mean hiking.
We fully knew it when we bought the property. And something on tracks. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
It'd be really cool. Snowblower, yes. Yes, we want. I want a snowblower really bad, and a chipper. Snowblower and a chipper. Those are my wish list.
Can the cement truck make it to the shop? Well, the 10-wheeler made it to the shop, and the cement truck's basically the same size and weight. The only problem might be that it's so steep that cement might come out the back of the barrel on the truck. So we're going to have to order like half loads on the cement truck. So that's going to be kind of a bummer. We'll pay more for trucking, but I think that's how we're going to have to do it.
Yes, the Army truck can plow through the snow, but we've talked to our neighbors a little bit, and the issue can actually be once things kind of start getting slushy and muddy, you don't want your plowed vehicle to be super duper heavy, because then it can also sink into the mud.
Basically, the road isn't very well built yet. We have big plans to improve the road as the longer we're there, but right now our concern would be that the Army truck would do more damage to the road than good.
So the Samurai would be tracked if we decide to do that. Drive the truck backwards. Oh, so that doesn't spill the cement?
There's actually four-wheel drive cement trucks where the drum is backwards, and that is exactly why. It's for going up steep hills so that you don't spill it out.
Our backup plan is to mix on site. It's just super labor intensive, requires a lot of water, which we don't have. So still exploring options.
If you guys watch Andrew Camarado, he has a pretty cool skid steer mixer on the front where you just you scoop this gravel up and then dump this Portland cement and water, and the skid steer mixes it, and then you dump it. I think that'd be awesome to have.
Yeah. We love Andrew's videos. We actually watched his shipping container tower escapade back when we were planning our shipping container house. And we felt really inadequate because we were trying to figure out how to just build one container, and then he was using dozers to stack them. It's really cool. How are we planning on heating the shop?
So we want 2 heat sources. So we have a primary and a backup. Our primary is going to be a wood-burning stove using all that lumber all the timber you watch us cut down when clearing. And then the backup's likely going to be a propane heater or maybe a diesel heater, just like the one in our camper.
Or we could be like Brent and work with Heavy D. That'd be pretty fun as well.
Heavy D, if you're watching, hit us up.
We can have an Army truck meetup. But yes, Camarada is the man. But he makes us want to own so much equipment.
Oh my gosh, that guy's got
afford.
so much cool stuff.
Oh, you guys have so many good questions. Let's see. How far is the driveway?
So we have about 2.3 miles from the county road. Luckily, there are neighbors that do help maintain about 1.5 miles of that, and then we are on our own for the last mile or so.
Sorry. Radiant floor heating. That would be cool.
Yes, I think that there may be a boiler in our future. I've been reading a lot about them. I think there's a lot of advantage to using a wood-fired boiler to get hot water, of course, and to heat the space. And I'm also interested in maybe trying to do some kind of steam power generation. Again, just have not had enough time to look into all that. I think there's going to be lots of phases to this project and upgrades as time goes on.
We've really been enjoying watching the Cerro Gordo build series. We've actually been to Cerro Gordo back before it sold to Brent, and so it's really cool watching it change and grow. We've really enjoyed watching that series. Elevation of our property, 2,400 feet.
Something like that.
I think. How are we holding up? We were pretty wrecked after we put the roof on, but we've taken about a week off, and that has been amazing, and we needed it.
Basically, we were just pushing super hard to try to get as much done in the 2 weeks that we had that telehandler for, knowing that Courtney and I had somewhere to be after that, and we were going to be stepping back from the project for a while. So at the end of that, we were very tired, but we knew there was a break on the way.
Let's see. I want to be Andrew when I grow up. Me too.
Wind generation. Yeah, wind generation would be awesome. I love wind generation because it works during the day and the night, in the winter or the summer. Haven't had enough time on the property yet to see if there's like a strong enough prevailing wind to feel like that's a good idea or not.
Our driveway is south facing. However, there is a section of north facing road that we have to drive up, and it is very steep. Would the roof of your barn hold the weight of solar panels?
Yes, I suppose. Yeah, yes, it would hold solar panels, no problem. It's engineered to have a very high snow load on it. However, that's the problem with having solar panels on a high roof, is that it will snow on them, the snow will stick, and you have to go up there and clear them. With how much space we have, I think it's going to make a lot more sense to do a ground-mounted solar array that is south facing and angled to optimize the use of the panels. Our roof is not running the right direction to get very high efficiency out of the panels.
Have we tried an electric chainsaw? Actually, yes. One of our followers, John, so nice, sent us a combined birthday present, and it's the Dewalt Pole Saw. It's amazing.
We had a friend come and visit, and he had a much bigger camper than ours, and I sat on his front bumper while he drove, and I trimmed the trees with the cordless pole saw. It was awesome.
It's silent, it's instant, you don't have to turn it on and off, it's amazing. So yeah, I think that it's really cool, and I would love a bigger. Do they make a bigger version?
Yeah, they make like I think Dewalt has the 60 volt flex volt chainsaw.
It could be pretty cool.
One of those is probably in our future.
Wind generation. We don't have a lot of wind. At least we haven't yet. Maybe that changes. Propane heaters.
How do we send you something?
Oh, our P.O. box, our mailing box, is in the description area of all of our videos.
And we love presents.
Yeah, you don't have to send us anything, but we do love presents.
If you
snacks.
want to send us something cool, we'd love to give you a shout out and try something out.
Do we plan to grow food? Honestly,
we love building things, we like making things, we like solving problems. Neither of us really loves gardening, so I think we're probably going to tend to stick to the grocery store for food, but who knows, maybe we'll get a small garden going.
You know, I think our motivations for going off grid and going remote are less like others might be. We're going to stay on the food grid. It'd be cool to have a little garden. We probably are going to do it and then not take great care of it because we're both working in the shop.
We also leave a lot and go on adventures, so. Paul, you have a cool wind generator. How do you like your wind generator, Paul?
Drilling a well. Yes, we need a well. It's going to happen eventually when we can afford to do that. Let's see. Mark and Teresa.
Barter for food. Yeah, barter. We'll accept food for excavator work.
Let's see. Dave. All right, Dave's telling everyone, hit the like button. Smash that like button, guys. Let's see. How are the sidewalls holding up the camper? They're good.
Yep.
All our walls, Riley checks every day for cracks. We had no idea what happened. I mean, literally no idea.
We had a few kinks that we worked out very early on in our travels, and ever since then, this camper has been 100% maintenance free. We've just been living in it, using it, and enjoying it. We have not had a single problem.
I think we'll have to do we have an Amazon wish list? We don't. That's a very interesting idea.
That's a good idea.
We might need to put some Bailey cookies on an Amazon wish list.
Want some treats?
What's our current restroom situation? We have a cassette toilet in the camper. When we go to town, we pop the cassette out and we take it to town, and there's a free RV dump in town. So very easy, very neat.
So that's actually another cool thing about the cassette is that we're able to just strap it on the little cargo rack we have on the back of Courtney's Lexus GX, and we can take the cassette with us to town without actually having to move the camper. So the cassette has been very flexible, and we love it.
Ooh. What's the hardest lesson you've learned over the years of projects? That's a good question. I've had to learn to be more patient.
Patience is a big one, for sure. I think it's that there is a solution to the problem, and sometimes the best way to find that solution is to take a step back from the project and work on something else and give yourself time to really think about the problem and arrive at a reasonable solution. When you try to rush an answer out of it, for me personally, I always look back and I'm kind of disappointed with the solution that I've come up with in, when rushed to figure one out.
I agree, Riley should wear a helmet, but he doesn't. Yes, we would love a portable sawmill. I think that would be amazing to be able to mill our own lumber. Most of the trees we cut down were dead standing or birch or were not candidates for lumber, but we did cut down a few cedar trees that are candidates for lumber. We've got them off to the side. We would love to mill our own lumber. I think that would be amazing.
In that area for someday, if or when we have a sawmill or can trade work for a sawmill or something, it'd be really fun to mill our own lumber.
Oh, what's the long-term plan for the channel? Mark, and Teresa, that's a great question. If we can make a living sharing with you guys making things, mind blown, that would be our dream.
Yeah. So
like harebrained ideas, like my Samurai on Tracks, or another camper that's bigger, or...
So we'd love your recommendations on what you'd like to see us build. You know, what do you guys like to watch? What would you keep watching? And
Alan, you're our first member. Okay, we just opened up YouTube member. A few people had asked about it. So actually what's going to happen is if you become a member, you're going to get to see our videos sooner. I usually upload them the day before. And so you'll get early access to videos when they come out. So thanks, Alan, for being our first member.
thank you, Alan.
What's the next big buy in equipment?
Man, we have a long wish list for equipment. Don't really. It's going to depend on what we need next for a project.
No,
honestly.
Teresa, you are our first member. It didn't tell me, but you are. It was Teresa and then Alan. So thank you both for becoming members. Sorry, carry on. We have a lot of equipment we would love to own. The reality is I think we're probably going to need to sell something to be able to buy something, which is how we do things. So
Someone
maybe...
wants to know if there's a watercraft in our future. Yes, we both want a boat. I think that'd be awesome to have a small boat that we could like spend weekends on down on the lake, like a small cabin cruiser or something.
Donald's a member and Donald's a Patreon. So thank you so much, Donald. You are awesome. All right. Alan cedes his firstness to Teresa. And Rich, gosh, you guys are awesome.
We just love how supportive all of you are of us and of our channel.
What other projects? We have so
This
many.
guy loves any and all solar projects. I think there are a lot of solar projects in our future. It's going to take us a while to get to that point. You know, we're prioritizing like having a roof over our heads, and we know we can use the battery and solar system in the camper for quite a while. Even in the apartment, we can plug the camper into the apartment. But eventually, we're gonna have a pretty cool solar system in our shop setup.
So just briefly to touch, someone asked what's the difference between being a member on YouTube and Patreon. So Patreon's got a lot of exclusive content where we've been doing Tech Tuesdays, and then also I like writing, so we've got quite a few blog posts up just touching on what we're doing. The YouTube member specifically is just early access to our normal weekly videos.
For the uninitiated, how do you member, says Dale.
How do you become a member? That's a really good question. Maybe click on our channel. I think maybe if you go to our channels page, it'll be an option there. Have we picked up any sponsors? No, we say no to everyone.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
We try to really vet sponsors to make sure that if we're backing a company, that it's somebody that we can truly back and give a recommendation to you guys. So we're really careful about who we partner with.
It has to be something that we would go out and buy, even if they weren't trying to give it to us.
So currently we're sort of looking for power tool sponsorship, and we're also interested in more equipment. So those are kind of the two big things. Renogy, who is our power sponsor in the camper, has come back on board, and they're giving us a set of their new Eclipse portable folding panels. So we do have some new Renogy stuff coming to try out, and once we've had a chance to try it out and review it, we're going to be letting you guys know what we think of it.
And that was something that we needed. So we have found that yes, the camper has solar panels on the roof, but we stay parked in the shade during the day for the dogs, which means the solar panels are not getting any sun. So we have these solar panels that are not producing. So some ground panels that we can set up out in the sun but stay parked in the shade, I think is going to be a really big improvement for us in our stationary setup. Oh, so it says everyone is telling me you can click join in a box that's on the feed. So I think that's how you become a member. All right, Dave said we're at over 50%, so keep hitting that like button. Snowbirds on the roof.
What's a snowbird?
Are those like
we don't know what that is.
rainbirds? I don't know what snowbirds are. How far are we from the lake? From the big lake, 10 minutes. From the little lake, we're a lot closer, but we don't have access to that one. So, let's see. What's the cost of a solar charging system with batteries and inverters? That really depends on your setup.
Go check out Renogy's website. They have a ton of information and a ton of different products. And if you're interested in buying from them, the code Ambition Strikes, one word, will get you 10% off.
And if you guys want to shoot us an email with what you're trying to outfit, Riley is more than happy to sit down and help you figure out a system that's going to work well for you.
So that from what I always like to start with is what are your biggest draws and how long do you use those for? And we start there and we go backwards to figure out a system that works well for you. So if you'd like some help from me on engineering your power system, feel free to reach out and I'll help you as best I can.
Oh, snowbirds keep the snow from sliding off the roof. We may or may not be adding those. We have not decided.
Our roof system was engineered to the loading was engineered such that it's intended to shed the snow, not hold the snow. So we probably shouldn't be trying to hold the snow with our roof engineering. So we are going to be very careful about how we park stuff, where we go in the winter. We're going to be watching that roof and making sure that we're not putting ourselves in a dangerous spot where that shedding snow lands on top of us or on top of the dogs.
What's the most unexpected part about building in Idaho? I think it's probably winter, but it's not here yet, so. We're from California. We're not used to the snow. We enjoy the snow. We might hate it. I don't know.
Another big difference, I think, is just the freedom to build. You know, it's an easy place to work with and to get your permits and to get started, and lots of helpful people that are there to answer questions, but ultimately it's up to you to figure out how to do it and how to do it correctly.
Yes, Teresa, we are going to be building a large deck off of the upstairs apartment for sure. Yes, that will definitely be happening. Let's see. Winter is coming. Yes, winter is coming. We love snow sports. We love skiing. So
I love the snow.
We might just play all winter. How do we go about finding land? That is a really funny story. We shopped, and we did the Zillow, and we did the Redfin, and we did the Realtor and the MLS, and we could not find anything. We ended up meeting some random, incredibly nice people in a parking lot.
They're now some of our good friends up there.
We went to dinner with them. We met their real estate agent. He had this listing. It just...
we met the right people, and it was off market, and
I think just saying yes to new opportunities, and when you meet new people, just say yes, and I think we've been really amazed with the opportunities that have come from doing that and the people we've met.
Yeah. So same thing, if you see us out there in the wild, please come say hi. We love to say hi to new friends and go on adventures with you.
We can't go anywhere. You guys, we were on our secret trip this week and we got spotted the whole way.
We got messages about every half hour from somebody that said, hey, I just saw you here. I just saw you there.
You can't hide. Paul, thank you for becoming a patron. We really appreciate it, and I hope you appreciate our Tech Tuesdays. And we have some plans for some Tech Tuesdays.
It's been really hard to do Tech Tuesdays right now with how busy we've been, and honestly, we're sort of in a realm that I don't know a whole lot about. But as we get into some more technical projects, I really hope to try to share with you guys the details of how we're doing it and why we're doing it, and hopefully provide some more insight that's not going to make it into our normal weekly videos.
I love just giving Riley the camera and him going out and filming something and then editing the footage. I find it really amusing and entertaining. So, especially if you saw his failed Riley versus the generator. That's a good Tech Tuesday.
I spent a lot of time trying to fix up a generator that turned out to have a hole in the piston, so it was not worth doing.
Spoiled it.
No.
Do we get along as well in real life as we do on video? That's a good question.
I would say that 90% of the time we do.
Yeah.
Of course there's struggles, right? Everybody has struggles, but
especially if I'm hungry.
But yes, Courtney and I work incredibly well together, and that's come out of the last 5 or 6 years of working directly with each other. We've learned how to work with each other really well. And honestly, now without her, I'm not anywhere near as good as I am with her. You know, she really kind of helps fill in the gaps on the skills that I lack, specifically organization. She's also really good at planning ahead and making sure we stay on track.
It's hard. I would say the hardest part of building something is planning it. You just want to get going, but you have to have all these dominoes in line to make sure that it's actually going to end up how you want to have it end up. Hi, Brian. Thanks for becoming a patron. Gosh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah. So Tara wants to know, after we build the shop and apartment, are we going to be building a different structure or other projects? I think that we're going to be switching gears to other projects at that point that include like our power system and our water system on the property and getting the road fixed up. And then after that, we'd love to build some other cool harebrained ideas that we've been brewing for a long time, whether it be stuff that goes in the water or the snow or a different camper or a houseboat, or so. You know, we love to build stuff. We love to figure new things out, and we're looking forward to some of those projects once we get our place to work on them sorted out.
I don't think we'll raise bees. Boone really doesn't like them. Yes, the plasma table will be coming up to our shop once we have a slab poured and a power system to power it. It will absolutely be coming up there. Our plasma table is from ArcLight Dynamics. We bought it when our off-road shop was brand new. We borrowed so much money to buy it. It was incredibly scary and risky at the time. I didn't sleep for a really long time. I was so stressed out about how much money we just spent on a piece of equipment. It turned out to be the absolute game changer for us.
You know, not having it for like the last 6 months has felt like I'm like missing a part of how we do stuff. You know, it's become so integrated into how we build, being able to go from CAD designs to finished parts in matters of minutes, that I'm really looking forward to having that back.
What color siding are we doing? Yes, I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch our videos to find out.
Brian Roush just commented, is that the Brian that we bought this truck from? If that's the Brian that we bought the truck from, please say hi.
Is that? I don't know.
I think that might be.
Oh. Our email address. You can find our email address, I think, in our information or on our channel page, but it's Riley@trailtestedmfg.com or Courtney@trailtestedmfg.com. Yeah, we'd love to build a few rental properties on our land, little Airbnb casitas or campsites. I think we'd love to do something like that. How cold does it get there? I don't know. We'll let you know.
Oh, Brian Roush says, nope, not the Brian we bought the truck from. Well, hi anyways, Brian.
Fire heated hot tub, yes.
I really want to do a shipping container pool. Basically, you cut the bottom off a shipping container and you flip it upside down and it becomes a swimming pool, or like section off a part of it and make it like a hot tub infinity pool. We'll see. That's another idea rolling around up here.
There's a logical side. Well, there's the fun side of it, but there's also the utilitarian side of it. If we had a shipping container pool or something like that in summer, that's also a giant holding tank of water that we could use for firefighting. So, yes, cross-country skiing from our hill would be amazing.
So our neighbors actually used to cross-country ski on the property. They told us that we've got the good ski hill, so looking forward to that.
What YouTube channels do we like to watch? That's a good question. Absolutely love watching Brent and Sarah Gordo. So cool. Ghost towns, old towns, refurbishing things. We love his channel. Other channels we enjoy watching.
I like to watch the Mav. He
Yes.
just like cruises around in an F-150. He sleeps in the back. He cooks the meals. He's just a fun adventure to watch. He's a great people person.
We found we're on working all day. So actually a lot of the YouTube channels we like to watch are not people making or building things. It's just like our time to zone out.
Lately we've been watching a lot of RR buildings, getting inspiration on how to build pole barns. Andrew Colorado, because he's cool. Who else do we watch?
That's a good list. That's quite a few people. Good Simple Living is somewhat nearby to us. We've been watching their adventure to build their house. That's been really cool to watch. Martin Johnson, him and his family are building somewhat near us, so that's been fun to watch.
We watch Timmy up in Alaska. If you ever watch, it used to be called Full Send Alaska. I think now it's called like Truck House Life. He's a fun channel to watch. He's quite the adventurer.
Yes, Wild Wonderful. We've been watching their channel for quite a while. It's fun to watch them. They're quite a bit ahead of us, so that's cool to see.
What are our favorite hobbies? Our favorite hobbies are building stuff.
Making things.
We also both love to mountain bike and snow ski and cook.
And go
eat.
off-roading. We love rock crawling. We usually own some sort of buggy or Jeep. We sold it to fund the building of this camper, so we do not have a Jeep right now. Reckless Ranch. That's
pretty good ranch name. I like that one.
Now someone's Googling shipping container pools. Y'all need one.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. Timmy had a good video today. We haven't watched Timmy's video yet. We'll put a list together of our channels we like to watch, so that you guys can find that. Windows. That'll be in a video, so we're not going to go too much into depth into that, but we do have windows and doors now, and we're going to get to installing them this week.
Dan, 500-gallon water buffalo. I don't know specifically what that is, but I'll make sure and look it up.
La Vagabond. We haven't gotten into the boat world too much, kind of intentionally, because
We're worried I'll get sucked into that one if we get too close to it.
but it is something we find very interesting, and I think stay tuned for that one. Where do we buy our shipping container? That's a good question. We bought it from a local container supply yard. It was important when you're building something that you're going to live in that you know where it came from. So we actually bought a one-tripper container, which means it had only been used once. That way you can make sure that nothing hazardous or toxic was transported in it.
All shipping containers have a serial number on them that's individual for that container. And if it's a one-tripper, you can usually get the shipping manifest and know exactly what was transported in it.
Trent and Allie, yes, I really enjoy watching Trent and Allie's videos. They're building in Utah, and that's been fun to follow along on. A water buffalo is a military tank on wheels. That sounds cool.
Okay, it's like a water tank. We'll check those out. Thank you.
How did I learn to wrap a vehicle? That's a good question. I did it. There's some really good YouTube videos out there. CK Wraps, I think it is a channel that I watched quite a bit before I started doing it. And then I think my other thing, oh, Alan, thanks for becoming a patron. I think another thing was just buying really expensive vinyl. The more expensive the vinyl is, the more repositionable it is, the more forgiving it is, the more you can stretch it, and I think that really helps set me up for success. And it's not perfect. There's a few creases and wrinkles, and I learned as I went, and the next one would go a lot smoother. Let's see. What would we have changed in our container layout? Absolutely nothing. I loved it so much.
That layout was perfect for two people to live comfortably. Like, there was nothing we change about it. But
if we had kids, I think there's a lot we would change about it. But for just the two of us with the dogs, it was absolutely amazing.
A lot of people have asked us why we didn't just move the container from where we were in Central California up to North Idaho. That container was built sort of specific for that site and those views, and the insulation was not intended for the harsh climate of North Idaho. So it just wasn't a great fit for moving up there. Also, the cost to move it up there and get it up to our road and set up just didn't make sense for us. Plus, we love building, and we were looking forward to the next project.
Yeah, so the double sliding glass doors on our container, that really came from us building that container on a very tight budget, but wanting a ton of windows and a ton of natural light and really showing off the view that we had. And so by doing two sliders like that for $1,600, we had this massive wall of glass and 2 points in and out.
If you notice, there was also, one was a left hand and one was a right hand, and they were opposite. That gave us doors that were substantially far apart from each other and gave kind of two ways to get around between inside and the deck so you didn't run into each other as we were moving, especially when friends were over and stuff.
The camper is not down at the shop site yet because it is so incredibly dusty.
We're just trying to keep the camper out of the dirt in a spot where we're not just living in that dust that's in that shop site. It's
Very
nice.
soon we will be bringing base in. And once we've got base down, we will be down there.
Sean James,
My
myself
Self-Reliance, yes! Riley's parents actually turned us on to that channel, and we really enjoy watching it. Especially with just the no talking, just like the peaceful building of things. Sometimes it's really nice to decompress. Let's see. Thanks, Chad.
When's the next video? As you've probably seen, there was not a video up today.
We took a week off. We had a family function. Maybe Wednesday. We'll have a video soon, I promise. Trying to find that work-life balance, guys. It's hard.
And, you know, I don't know if you guys knew this, but pretty much you watch us in real time. Like, when a video goes live on Sunday, that's usually what we were doing on Saturday. So at this point, we're sort of, you know, we haven't been working this week, so we don't have content to give you for the next video. One will be coming up soon.
Are you putting a lift in the shop?
Definitely gonna have a lift. You know, we used to run an off-road shop together, and we had two-post lifts, and I miss having those. We're going to have one again. That's actually part of why we have the 18-foot walls and why the apartment only consumes half of the shop. That's to give us an 18-foot tall bay where we're going to be able to have a lift that's big enough to pick up like our big truck.
How are we supporting the second floor? Or did you just answer that?
No, I didn't. So the second 5-story apartment's going to be going long ways down the sort of the left side of the shop if you're facing it, and it's going to be supported on 3 posts down the center. Wanted to get away from posts in the middle, you know, to have a true clear span, but it's just not practical, and those posts aren't going to be that in the way and kind of what we're thinking for the shop layout. So there's going to be posts down the center, a big beam, and then probably laminated eye-joists to support the floor of the shop, of the apartment.
What made us want to leave California? That's a really good question. Our answer would be really long, but the biggest one being access to outdoor recreation and the freedom to be able to build on our own property how we want, when we want. You have anything to add?
No, there's just a lot of people in California, and we wanted to get a place where we weren't surrounded by that many people.
Life Uncontained, yes, we watched their channel when we were building our shipping container, and it's been cool to watch their project come together, and I think they just kind of moved in, so that's exciting. Fire escape, yes, good call, Cliff.
Yeah, in fact, we were just talking about it the other day, like, how do we have multiple ways out of that apartment, because we plan on only having 1 staircase. So if you have ideas on, you know, good fire escapes out of like a window, send them our way. I think there's like some temporary ladders you can hang off of a 2nd-story window, but definitely something that's on our minds with this building. Doing another vehicle build. There will be a lot more vehicle builds in our future. I can promise you that. We've built, so I don't know, at least a dozen different vehicles in the past. Just didn't have the YouTube going yet then, so.
We're infamous for buying and selling and building and buying and selling and building, so there will be a lot of really cool things in our future.
In fact, this camper, I think, is one of the cars we've owned the longest in our lives, and we've only owned this thing for like 8 months now, so.
An escape plan, yes. So our property, it's a loop, so we can go in and out. We have multiple points of access, and then within our actual property, we have multiple ways of getting to the road, things that really made us feel good about the purchase and about building on it.
We've got multiple people suggesting a fire pole. I think that would be awesome.
That sounds really cool.
A fire pole down into the shop might be a really good idea, plus a staircase outside.
We're going to give you guys a little sneak peek of what's coming on the build because we really appreciate you tuning into this is really our first live. There is an addition to the shop coming. We're not going to tell you what it is. It's really tall, it's round, and it's going to add on to our living space. That's all you're going to get for now. Fire insurance. Yes, I'm sure that is going to be a struggle. Roof ejection seats. A zip line. That would be cool. The dogs will not be able to get down a ladder or a fire pole. So a slide.
Oh, a slide. That's a good idea.
Like the airplane slides, the inflatable
Really?
ones.
Will you use a slide?
I think we could also lower them down with a rope if we had to. How we're going to heat the shop, wood, and then backup propane is the current plan for heating the shop since we have so much wood on the property. It's not a silo. I know you guys were thinking that, but it's not a silo.
But it'll be pretty cool.
Oh, apparently fire poles can be dangerous at speed, and you guys know Riley likes to hit things at speed, so maybe
There's only
that's
one speed
not
to
a
go,
good
and it's
idea.
fast.
Well, I think we're going to do a few more questions and then wrap it up. So if you have a question that you haven't asked or that we haven't answered, now would be a good time to put them.
Even if you've typed a question and we haven't answered it, it's probably because we didn't see
again.
it. So just type it again. You know, we can only see about 6 at a time, and it's going fast.
And my computer's at 1%, so we're gonna. Solar panels, yes. We will be doing solar. Fire lookout tower, that'd be cool. Let's see. Geothermal. Is geothermal an option?
I don't know very much about geothermal. It's very interesting to me, and I'm always thinking about ways to capture waste energy. I think geothermal is a good idea for some way to, you know, naturally sort of maintain our shop. So I'm interested in it. I just have not had time to learn about it.
And we're not sure how much solar we'll have yet.
Like I said before, we're focusing on getting the building, you know, the apartment wrapped up, have a shelter before winter, and then all the mechanical systems will be coming later.
Is land expensive, and how much should we spend? We're not going to tell you. Idaho is a non-disclosure state, so it's not public record how much we spent on our property, but I would encourage you to go on Zillow and see what properties are listed for, how quickly they go sale pending, and you'll probably get a pretty good idea of what real estate costs in the area. It's not super duper duper cheap, but it's beautiful.
It also varies drastically from area to area in Idaho, especially.
Have we been to the bar with the waterfall yet? No.
I have no idea where that is.
Winter can be tough, yes. We have heard that. We'll see what happens.
Is the shop big enough to store all equipment inside during the winter? Yes, it is big enough to store everything we have now inside of it. Will we be? Probably not. You know, if we put everything inside, then we won't have any space anymore. Mm-hmm. So we do have a future addition planned for the shop that's going to kind of go off at an L with lower walls. That's going to give us a lot more inside space for parking.
A few of you guys asked about Super Chat. That's not a function that we can turn on yet. YouTube said to keep checking back, and maybe it will be. So we really appreciate for you checking on that, and that is something that hopefully will be available in the future. This live was super fun. I think we're going to do more of them. This is really our first one, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was awesome, guys. Thank you so much, all like 800 of you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to our next video, and we're looking forward to more interaction with you guys. We love all the comments and questions, and we try to be as responsive as we possibly can be. But it's getting harder and harder for us to respond to all the comments.
And yes, Buck, if we hit 1 million subscribers someday, we are going to throw one hell of a party. And you will all be invited. That'll be it. That'll be something. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you hopefully Wednesday if I can get a video together in time. But if not, we will see you on Sunday.
Bye. Bailey, say bye. Bye.